Welcome back to the channel. I had a commenter ask how to enlarge an object using the grid warper. So I got a couple different ways you can do that. Let's check it out real quick. Here's our after shot. And if we bypass everything, here's our before. This one's kind of using two nodes at once. We have a zoom in version and a grid warp version. So let's walk you through the nodes. On node number 1 here, I used a power window and a pen tool and traced out the head where I wanted to isolate it, tracked this window through the tracker, and did a little bit of sharpening as the zoom in got a little blurry. Over on the edit page, you can see I have just the two clips stacked. And if we look at the inspector, I don't have a zoom going on in the transform section. I actually did that on the color page under input sizing, which is right here in the middle. You can click sizing and resize your clip within this section rather than doing it on the edit page. Now to get the warp to happen, we're going to go over to our open effects overlay, and you can see our tools change. This is when you drop the warper on your node, you have to draw the area you're going to warp. So you can choose from the warp mode of points or curves. I've shown you points in another video. For curves, we're on the adjust section, and you just can outline wherever you want to start the warp. It doesn't have to be connected, but you just have to put the points in place of where you want to warp. Then move over to the warp tab itself, and that same set of on-screen controls then becomes your warper. So you can see now we can manipulate the image. And if we move our blend back and forth, you can see before and after. And then that's being isolated because of this pen tool power window. So I did have to use quite a bit of softening to get it to fit in here without being super noticeable, but it came out pretty decent. Now that's our first version. Second version is similar, but without the grid warp. Same thing with the power window here. So if we turn our power window overlay on, you can see I have a slightly different shape with quite a bit of softness over here. This one's also tracked, and some sharpening was added as well. And I have an alpha output feeding that. This one doesn't have a grid warp on it, so it's essentially just using the sizing change from the input. So if we look on our input sizing here, this is still active. What looks kind of cool is both things active. So here's our original. If we use this first node, you can see we just kind of zoom in with the grid warp. On the second node, you can see we're shrinking down, and if we add both of them, it just looks kind of comical. Extra large cat head. All right, that's all I wanted to show you on this video. A couple different ways you can isolate a section and enlarge an object. I'm going to experiment more with the grid warper tool. It looks pretty cool. Thanks for checking it out, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one.